I love the
I
sparkles.
know, me too.
That is so fun. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to New Earth Rising. We are in February. It is the month of love.
Mm.
And so we got our hearts up. I don't have my hearts up because my hearts wouldn't work. But we got some hearts background. We got some love flowing here. And today we're going to talk about the transformative power of love. Love is a powerful force. It is the most powerful force. And so we're going to talk about it. So I am Michele Ambergy. I'm the awakener, one of many. You guys probably are awakeners too. And, I'm a psychic medium, intuitive life coach, energy healer, consciousness teacher, light language sound healer, all the stuff that we all do. And it's super fun. And I'm so here because my co shenanigator, Sharon, it's always so fun. Thank you. Thank you for playing
Thank
with me
you.
every week.
Mm.
It's such a delight.
Oh, I agree. It is. I look forward to it, definitely. And this is going to be a lot of fun talking about love. Are we going to do this all month? Talk about love and the
Sure.
power of love, since it is the month of love.
Power of love. Yes.
Yeah, totally. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Hi, Adele, Spirit Song. Thank you once again for being here, both of you and whoever is out there. And I am Sharon Kamara, and we're kind of doppelgangers of each other, aren't we, Michelle? A little bit. We
Yeah.
just talked about doppelgangers, how our doppelgangers in the higher planes are visiting people that we don't know, and they just come to us. We
Yeah.
like we send ourselves out there, and then these to help people there, and then they it trickles down here. So, yeah, Michelle and I are on the same type of path. We just have our own niches and similar types of ways of being of service to the planet. And I'm super happy to be here.
Yay. Yay. We're so happy to be here. This is always so much fun. You know, love is such a great topic. I always love February too. I can always feel like as we're sliding into February, it seems like the energy starts shifting. A lot of times you start like feeling a little sprinkling, a little sparkling, a little ring of spring
Hmm.
in the air.
Hmm.
Punxsutawney Phil comes out and gives us the prediction. This year it's 6 more weeks of winter, but that's okay because we need the moisture, we need the rain, the snow turns into melt, and that really helps us. But you can just feel that change,
Yeah.
and it's so fun. And I like hearts, so
Who
for
doesn't?
me it's my symbol.
Yeah. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Totally. So, I love the pink hearts you have in the background, Michelle. That's beautiful. Yeah. I wanted to, I was telling Michelle about a channel I got from Kuan Yin
Yes.
that I wanted to read. I'm going to put it up on my YouTube channel in maybe a week or so, and have a voiceover with it too, like I did with the Yeshua channel. Um, and then I want to share. I have an ET experience I want to share as well. I forgot to tell you about that.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
with a green guy. Um,
Very cool. And I have an experience I want to share too, a dream
ooh,
thing
cool.
that was kind of intense. So we got
Okay, nice.
stuff.
We got stuff.
Hi,
All right. So,
Mandy.
oh,
Mandy's in.
Mandy. Yeah. All right. This is from Kuan Yin. I channeled from. I felt her energy very strong. I felt her for about a week before I finally sat down and um, and put pen to paper. I felt that she was s- nearby and wanted to bring a message through. So it's called "Surrender to the Heart," and I haven't typed it up yet. So excuse me if I can't read my writing real well. Okay. Beloved family, I am here this date. I am here with you. Oh shoot. I'm here today with the vibration of love. When you speak of love, do you not feel the love frequency? For love is what you are and have always been and will always be. Anything else is illusory. Love binds all. Love binds you with me now. Love binds you with your Creator. I ask now that you use your inner vision to gaze upon your sacred heart. Hmm. See the flame of the love frequency that burns within. Feel the flame of your sacred heart burn away any energies that are not in alignment with the love that you are. Whew. Feel the expansion as you envision the flame of your sacred heart burn away any walls, any barriers that you have built around your heart to protect yourself. I'm starting to get teary eyed.
Mm,
As you feel the as you feel the barriers burn away with the golden flame of your sacred heart, envision my pure love as it pours into your heart now. See and feel my river of pure love as it flows from my heart to yours now, filling up and repairing the wounds of any past hurts. Allow my pure love to heal the pain you have carried for so long. Allow my pure love to soothe, to warm, to repair, to realign. Love is your savior, my family. My family of light. See and feel the light grow within you, within your sacred heart, as you open your heart to the pure love that you are. I have always been and will always be with my family of man to help bring back your awareness of your true nature. I am present with my family, with you until every one of my beloved family are in sacred remembrance of your true nature. Breathe deeply now, my sisters and brothers of love. Breathe in my pure love for you. Recall me, recall my message, recall my love for you whenever you feel out of alignment with your true nature. I will come to you and assist your realignment with the infinite source of your true being. I am present for you always in love eternal, Kuan Yin.
mm.
Whew,
That was good.
when I was channeling that, I mean, it was just like tears are flowing. My
Mm.
heart just like
Hi,
spinning
Luana.
like crazy.
Yeah, that Kuan Yin energy is so beautiful. And it's funny. I was just thinking as you were reading it, I just over the weekend kind of redid my crystal grids and kind of freshed up my big room that I do my meditation and everything in. And I created a Kuan Yin altar.
There you
I
go.
brought all my Kuan Yins in and I have the crystals and the dolphins and
Yeah.
all that in there. And I just was like, whoa.
Well, she's all about love and compassion. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and when I see her, she comes in pink
Yeah.
energy. When I feel her, see her. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
I have a beautiful statue of her where she's all beautiful sitting on a big pink lotus.
nice,
And I just
nice.
love that. I definitely associate the color pink with her too.
Yeah,
She's so soft and gentle.
yeah.
That Thank you for sharing that with us. That's so beautiful. That's
Thank
so
you.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good stuff.
hmm So, you want to share your dream?
Yes, it has nothing to do with love.
Okay. Or maybe it does.
Well, it could be self-love. It was very empowering. Okay.
Self-love is important.
Very, very quickly, some of you who are here may have heard this before because I did share it on Tuesday, on my YouTube channel. I do a show called Spiritual Chit Chat on Tuesdays at 4, for those of you that don't know. But what happened was, over the weekend, I had a dream where I was a big tech person, and I worked in this big tech company, and I could feel I worked in like those big, like huge buildings that are, like 50 stories high and all that kind of stuff. And I made a moral decision. I realized that there were some things going on, and I made a moral decision, and I ended up in the jail of this big tech company. And the big boss came in, and I couldn't see his face. And he came in and he's like, "You know what? It is not your place to be making moral decisions. You work for me, and you are out of alignment. And so you need to come with me into the office." And so when I get nervous, I become a real smartass. So I turned around to follow this guy, and I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna get a raise." And he turned around and looked at me, and it was B. Gates.
Oh,
And I looked square in the eyes, and my hair stood up. And I just felt this presence come into my body, and I went, "I'm not afraid of you." And then it disappeared. And I woke up with that.
wow.
It was like, oh my gosh. And that strength and that power has stayed with me.
Nice.
It's really crazy though. It was like, oh my God. And I kept saying after, because I got up, I was a little bit afraid to go back to sleep. And I got up and I kept going, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not
Nice.
afraid of
Nice.
you." But I really feel like I came face to face with something in the ethers,
So,
because it was right around the time when the turkey thing hit. It was right after, I think, the whole thing for the Grammys hit,
Grammys, yeah.
which put a lot of that really dark stuff into the
That was a ritual.
collective.
Mhm.
Thank you. I keep saying that. People are like, "No, it's not. It was just really weird." No, it was a
It's a
ritual.
ritual.
But yeah, whoa.
Yeah, totally. Interesting
And
that the earthquake, hit right after the Grammys, I
yeah,
think. Yeah, but
yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
That's an empowering dream for
yeah,
sure. Yeah,
yeah.
totally. That's awesome.
I didn't get the raise, I don't think.
Oh, I think you did. I think you shifted to another level. That's your raise.
I got the ether raise. Woo! I
Yeah, you got
won.
the frequency raise, definitely.
Thank you. That was a nice twist on that. Oh,
What happened to the Grammys? You don't wanna know.
let's
Yeah,
just say don't watch it.
yeah, I
It
was
had one of the, or several of the performances were
this guy, you know that guy?
rituals.
Rituals. Mhm. I never even heard of those artists, I'm so out of the loop anyway,
I
but,
haven't either.
yeah,
I haven't heard of any of them, for or known who any of them at the Grammys. The last couple
yeah,
years, it kept getting weirder and weirder, and this was just like, okay, now you're just in our
yeah.
face, mocking us now. Screw you.
Well, they've been doing it in
Subtly.
yeah, they've been doing it for a while. I mean, I think the
Yeah,
Grammys last year had that kind of stuff, I don't know. But
yeah.
anyway,
I think it deserved it.
yeah, let's get that energy out of
Okay.
here. Ugh.
Cancel. Matter of fact, I brought Sage with us for this very
Woo,
reason.
there we go.
So you
Nice.
tell your ET story. I'll
Okay,
sage the house.
okay.
Uh-oh. Oh, you silly bad dogs. My
Where
lighter's
did
not going.
Alright, so I had a, out of body experience,
I'm gonna pretend like it's going.
okay,
Like, oh my God.
where I wasn't completely lucid, but I was somewhat lucid. I knew that I was still here, that type of thing. But I was in a group of people, and we were, like, at a retreat, at a resort, and, we were learning things, and I was working. I was also working. I felt like I was working, and I was with a bunch of people. Obviously, recognized them there, and I was out. I was in this dream for like about an hour. So there was out about experience for about an hour. So there, I was there the for weeks. I remember, going to sleep. I'm experiencing this a life kind of thing where I go to bed, I'm hanging out with people, get up the next morning and still do my work and that type of thing. And so it was quite a long experience. But the one part I wanted to tell you about was that at one point I feel my head and it has a big bump on the side of my head and I'm bald. But I don't think about that. What I think about is where did this huge um, bump come from on the side of my head? And I'm concerned that I maybe partied too much the night before or something like that because I was hanging out with people and fell down and bumped my head. So I'm asking the people I'm with, did I fall down and bump my head? Because I got this big, do you see it? Look at this big bump I have on my head. And they're looking at me like, what are you talking about? So after a little while, I just said, okay, well, I guess I just have a bump on my head. I didn't feel the other side. It was just one side. So as I'm waking up or coming back, I see, that hypnagogic imaging where you're before you're waking up, you see things so clear, and that's where I've seen most of the extraterrestrials been that have come to me clear, and they talk to me in that space, that what's it called, the liminal state, the in
Subliminal.
between. No, liminal, I think it's called. Um, there's a book on it. That twilight state.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, mind asleep, body awake. Mind No, mind awake, body asleep. That Monroe Institute calls it. And I see this screen, like like a Zoom screen, with all these squares, and there's like 8 squares, 6 or 8 squares, but it's floating. It's holographic and it's 3D and it's floating in front of my vision. Um, I see in one square. I see a planet that I don't
Ooh.
recognize, and it's has pink and white mist swirling around the planet on one of the screens. On the other screen, I see a humanoid being, an extraterrestrial, well, what we would call not this human, and he's got light green skin, and he has that bump that I felt on my head. His head is
Ooh.
shaped like that, and he's bald, and his head is shaped, with the concave and the bump, that kind of thing. Um, he has a flat nose and it's kind of pointed, and he's on the screen. He's like moving to the side, like showing me his head. He's like doing this, like, see, and he's moving around, like, see, this is what we look like and what you look like. Basically, what he's telling me is, you have this. This is where you are. You have the same thing, the same type of head. You're one of us. And then I wake up and I'm here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Where is that? It's so interesting when you said about that planet, just immediately in my head, I got Vega,
Vega.
and I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Is that a
The
star
only
system? Vega?
I am not sure. The only thing I know anything about it is from that movie Contact with Jodie Foster, and when
Oh,
she goes through the electromagnetic field, goes in the wormhole, she goes to Vega where she sees her father.
I think that's a star system. Yeah, I didn't get any information. I didn't go into meditation to try to get more information, but I understood the message when he was, and I didn't see who the other beings were because because I was too focused on him. Um, but yeah, that was crazy funny. I believe that they're showing themselves more and more to us, as long
Yeah,
as we're open to it.
yeah.
And
Yeah, absolutely. Because
yeah,
they're our family, you know?
right.
And with what we're going through, in this massive shift of consciousness, our shifting consciousness is affecting all the others because we are all connected. A lot of times we forget that, we're connected to our off planet, people too, our star families and our interdimensional families and our interdimensional selves. We have other us's out there too.
Yeah,
And so it's really interesting that as all that begins to rise back up into our awareness in this awakening, we're beginning to be in contact with all of that too.
yeah.
It was really interesting as you were talking to Sharon. I saw like the Lyran beings that we've talked about, the tall, oh, Vega's the brightest star in the northern constant of Lyra. That's what I was just gonna say.
Lyra. Okay,
I was
Lyra.
seeing
Yeah.
Lyra. I call it Lyra for some reason.
Oh,
But
cool.
when you were talking, I was seeing the tall white lions, and so that makes sense. No wonder.
Well, here's
Thank you, Luana.
Elena's book where she talks about Vega, and she says there are three different races sharing the planetary system. You call Vega, regarding to your Terran mythology. This is information from her contact. Uh, so here's one, and this one right here has the concave head with the bump.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's an Osman. So, and that's what it felt like right there, and that's what that
Donny
dude,
Osmond.
Donny Osmond. That's him right there. So, but this guy was green. Oh, they said they have a pale grayish pink skin. Um, but I don't. This guy was green, so I don't know. Who knows? Anyway,
Very cool.
speaking of love, this is a good segue into
Love is all there is.
yeah, loving our extraterrestrial or interdimensional parts of us that are non-Earth, non-Terran.
What I would love to know is what star system interplanetary do you guys identify with? We have the basics, there's Pleiadian, there's Arcturian, there's the Lyran. In my teachings with the Kalantic teachings, the Lyrans are the feline race. They're the ones that are the great white lions. They're the ones that hold that beautiful space. And there's other stars, within the system. So I'm sure what you had too is all part of it. I'm not saying it's different, but that part that I know are the lions and the great white lions that are in there. And I never knew that I had any connection to that until I had an experience. But show us in the chat, guys, who do you feel connected to, or if at all? Like, do you have an interplanetary or multidimensional system that you are connected to? I know there's a lot of um I'm getting right now there's a lot of Pleiadian connection in here too. What are you guys seeing? Who's your people? That's what I'm trying to ask. Who's your people? Let us know in the chat, because it's so fun to see the different things. And you could be connected to more than one too. I want to tell you.
Oh, I believe we all are.
Yeah,
Uh, Yeah,
absolutely. Because when
yeah,
I
I believe
first
that.
started learning about all of this stuff, I had a thing on, it was on the internet, and it was like the internet was really new to me at the time. And I somehow ran across this website that was from the Syrian, Syrian, and it had this ring that kept coming out, boom, boom, and it had this bell, ding, and and it's very transfixing, right? And then all of a sudden, these words come up, and it says, "If you've stayed here this long, you are one of the Syrian star seeds. Welcome home." And then the thing opened up, and it had, oh, I'm getting chills, and it had all this information, and it was beautiful. Do you feel like you belong somewhere else? Are you intuitive, all this, and it was so cool, and that's what started my thing. And then I realized I was connected to the Arcturians and very much Pleiadians. I was shown I actually came on into this lifetime through the Pleiadian stargates, so and then the Lyrans. And so it's like all of a sudden it's like we're all connected in all this.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Luana is saying it's like we're all connected to it. Like they're all systems are like steps. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because yeah, because we experience it all. We're God experiencing its creation. So we're going to experience it all, which that's cool. I really expect to see a lot of people, oh, Pleiadian, oh, Arcturian. There's Andromeda. If you're connected to a planet too, I know a planet that I'm really connected to is Jupiter. And for years, I had dreams of going to Jupiter and helping the Jupiter people get ready to interact with Earthlings, which I thought was so weird because when I was doing, I'm like, what the heck? But ooh, so we don't. Hey, Spirit Song, who are you connected to, darling? I don't know if I'm not. Oh, well, they're not going to answer me. Fine.
Well, I
Adele
think
saying I don't know.
yeah. It's and I believe it's when we start Palladian, yeah, when we start realizing that we are star beings anyway, I think it's a matter of who we resonate with, like Luann said, Luana, kind of who we resonate with the most at that time.
Yeah,
Um, and I know I resonate with Pleiadians. I remember being a Pleiadian
yeah,
soldier, in the Orion Wars. Um, I know the name of my planet, my water planet is named Opus. But that's, whether that's in that star system or not, I don't know. But I think it's who we, because we have lives, like you were
yeah,
saying, Michelle, we're, we're multidimensional and we have full lives all over the universe.
yeah,
So it's kind of what we might um, resonate with.
yeah,
That's a home for us. Feels like a home for us. And there's people that feel like Earth is their home, and that's
yeah,
But a lot of star seeds feel like there's somewhere else and mine would be the water planet.
yeah. And that's the whole thing with the star seeds. So many of us, came here from other places, and especially the star systems, to
Hmm.
help at this time.
Hmm.
And that's why it's so interesting to see who's connected with who. I've been for many years writing a book about the last sinking of Atlantis. And during that time, as everything was starting to fall apart, it's like it started falling apart. Our star families came in ships to help try to rescue us.
Hmm.
And I remember standing there as one of the priestesses who realized, that they were messing with the crystals. And I tried to change it, and I realized everything was happening. And not the only one, there were a lot of us, but I remember seeing the starships coming in and recognizing that, oh, I'm getting chills, the different shapes of the starships, the different colors, the different feels, the thing that they were coming in. There was one huge ship came in and it had a beam and it just like sucked all of its people up, that belonged on that starship and stuff. It was crazy. It was a
Yeah,
crazy thing. So we're all connected to so many other things. It's neat. Super
it
cool.
is. Yeah, and Spirit Song, yes, Opus. Does that ring a bell with you or something? There's a race that is small stature and a gorgeous aquamarine skin. I don't know what they are, but I have been to the planet and a whole mass of them came to greet me. Oh, cool.
Ooh. Now is Opus where the mermaid people are from?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I have a connection to that too. But Opus doesn't ring a bell in my heart.
Well, Opus that was the name of the planet in our language. And I remembered that. My mother actually helped me remember that after she passed when I was communicating with her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I hadn't heard of that. So cool.
but that's Opus just rang a bell in my head. Yeah. It's
Yeah, and that
it's a
and there's
symbol.
so many of them.
Well, it's a symbol. Names are symbols, right? It's a symbol for the frequency,
Yeah, it's a
and that's
frequency.
what I think is the closest to what the planet's frequency is in our language,
I
what
think
might
it's
be. That would be the reptilian planet. Okay. I thought you were I thought you were had something you caught in your throat or something. Okay.
I was channeling.
You were it's kinda like every experience we have, we connect with the stars or planets meaning behind them. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. And it's so
What's
beautiful.
IMBO? I am is that
In
an
my
oh, you IMHO or no? In my humble opinion, IMBO. I don't know what that is for. I'm not up on all the
spirit song will tell us.
limbo? Limbo? No. LMBO. Laughing my butt off.
Laughing
Laughing
my
my
butt off.
butt off. Okay.
You can laugh a little bit more because it took us a while there, honey. Oh, that's funny. So we were going to talk about the transformative power of love. And we all know that love is that super high frequency, that it really is the highest frequency in this kind of time matrix. You guys so cute. And
Sorry.
we know that it's so important to keep that love vibe up, but we also live in this world that it's kind of rough here, and we get our little hearts broken and we have relationships with people, and it's so important to understand. This is one of the things that had come to me to share, is that so often when and I'm going to talk about relationships since we're February, Valentine's Day is next week. um in relationships so often, especially love relationship, romantic relationship, we go through a lot of those relationships before we find that wonderful person for us, and even that isn't perfect. And so often we get our heart broke, we get cheated on, we get betrayed, and a lot of times people put their love away, thinking that they can't express or feel or give or have love because of these past experiences. And I get it all the time. I do readings with people all the time, and I want to say 80% of them are about love. Is he does he still love me, or am I going to find love? And it's so important for us to understand that each experience of love is a transformative experience if we'll allow it to be, right? So we may experience betrayal, and say someone cheats on us, right? That's the worst thing ever. And it's such a deep betrayal, and it causes us fear and pain, loss of self-esteem. um we can't trust anybody. But part of those experiences is to teach us
It's a lot of
to,
experience.
yeah, a lot of, is turning into the love that you are, and have your love strong within you. And it takes a while, it takes some work, it takes some healing to be able to do that. But so many people say, well, I lost love. I can't love like I used to. The love that you are is always you. The love that you give away is never lost. These experiences teach you to love yourself, to trust yourself, to be yourself a lot more, and boundaries, and to take care of yourself, to listen to yourself. Because I know every single person I've ever talked to, and in my own experience, every person that's been a rat bastard, I knew it at the beginning and I didn't listen to myself. So a lot of times these are experiences where we learn to trust ourselves, to have boundaries. And so we want to know that these things are to teach us and to help us to grow. And that's one of the way that love transforms us. We can give love away, but love is not a finite thing. Love is an infinite flow of energy, and when we can kind of switch a little bit and look at it that way, we don't feel so much at a loss, and we begin to regain that what we think we lost. And a lot of it is self-esteem, it's confidence, it's that kind of stuff. And so that was one of the things that I wanted to bring up. It's like love is never lost, and everything, if you'll learn the lesson and move on. And a lot of it is trust yourself. You can't trust anybody out there. And not because they're bad. It's because everybody's living their own life and doing their own thing. So many times when someone cheats on you, they're not trying to hurt you. It feels like they do. It feels like they are, but they really aren't. They're doing their own thing.
They're
And when
broken
we
too.
can begin to, yeah, when we can begin being selfish, but most of the time they don't mean to hurt you. And when we can begin to see that, begin to realize that, we begin to learn those lessons that loving yourself is the best way to have love and be love. Learning those boundaries, learning to listen to your intuition that's like in the background going, run, that we don't listen to because he's so cute, right? How many times have you guys done that? I've done it like 843 times. Just like, oh God, he didn't show up again for our date, but I'll give him one more time because he's so cute. Or he drives a Corvette.
That's not
Or
love.
that
It's the
is not
difference.
love.
That's not
And
love.
that's
That's
what we
attachment.
learn.
Yeah.
Love is only within us. And that's where we get that transformation. That's where we grow. That's where love transforms us, is within. We're not going to, until we grow completely and learn those lessons, we're not going to be able to have that outer love experience like we truly want until we have it in the inner.
Well, yeah, we're projecting what we are. We can't give what we don't
Mhm.
have within us, and we're projecting what we have within us. And there's a big difference between attachment and love. I've learned these over the years too, right?
Mm,
And
mm,
it's because I don't want to, I first of all, I don't want to fail again in a relationship
yeah,
because of my history. I seem to resonate or bring in, people that aren't good for me, that kind of thing. And so my thing is always, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this work because I don't want to
yeah,
fail. I don't want to fail another failed relationship. But it comes with always, and this what Yeshua told me is, and helped me remember is that it's always how we feel about ourselves. Always. It doesn't have anything to do with what we feel about someone else. It's always about what we feel about ourselves because we're resonating. Our frequency is attracting what we are putting out
yeah,
always. So if we have those patterns and those programs of being mistreated, and we're going to mistreat ourselves if it's not healed, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And so it's so important for us to heal that and be able, number one, to be with ourself, to be alone, to be with ourself and love ourself, to be in love with ourself.
yep,
That's number one.
absolutely.
Yeah, totally. And ourself, who our self is God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, source. That's who we are. And being in love with our God self, with who we are as being in love with love, and feeling that
Right.
in our meditations and everything like that. My meditations always bring me to tears because I bring up that
Mm,
love that we are, that I am, that we're flowing, like you were saying, Michelle.
yeah,
And so flowing that and not worrying about being in a relationship, not worrying about attracting in a relationship. It starts here
yeah.
because we can't have that higher love as Stevie Winwood sings about until we
Bring me
have
a
it. I
higher
know, I
love.
love that song.
Oh,
Until we have it inside. That's where it starts.
yeah,
Yeah, and he taught me to connect to that part of myself, the uh, my twin or my whatever you want to call it, who I'm attracted to. I'm a straight woman, so it would be a masculine part of me on the other side, that part of my twin on the other side, and foster that, foster that first. Then we bring it into the physical because we are healing the higher planes, the one with who we have in this embodiment or non-physical, but it's very physical there that we have in those planes, in the higher planes, that relationship we have there in the higher planes, we're able, as long as that helps us, that part of us and that part of what our partner is, if we're even in a relationship or want a higher love, to have that relationship there and bring that in, just merge the two worlds, and that's how we can have a much higher relationship. And it's so important, like you were saying, to recognize the red flags right away,
Yeah.
because we're meant to have, we're not meant to be hermits and be alone.
But we need that alone time to become whole.
Right. Right, totally. We
Yeah.
need to heal, and that's when we need to
Yeah.
heal. Because if we're not healing, if we're constantly moving from relationship to relationship, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
me
that
too,
becomes
spirit
an
soul.
addiction too.
I am too, spirit soul. I'm glad to hear someone else is aware of that because I have the same thing. Yeah. Um, uh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
know yourself.
cool. Happily married with kids in another dimension. That is so cool.
Mhm. Yeah. S And, bringing that wholeness here, I mean, even, right? Even relationships we have in higher dimensions are gonna have their challenges, but challenges are opportunities for us to grow and to learn and to heal. That's what it's all about. That's why we're here.
And
Yeah.
the only place we can do that is right here, right now.
Yeah.
Until we bring it all into the present moment, it's not in its wholeness. Everything exists right now. And it's interesting as you're saying that, I'm like, loved ones on the other side. Huh.
Well, I don't think of it as the other side. I think of it as a higher frequency. It's a higher frequency.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're
Oh,
saying.
okay.
But
Yeah.
it's just so funny. I don't think of it that way. I think of it as a complete internal wholeness, that all that is within me. And so finding that balance within. And so it's interesting externalizing that way and like being like, oh, that's an interesting way of handling it too, huh?
Mhm.
Like, well, Holly is saying that she's happily married with kids in another dimension. And
Yeah.
Ralph is saying, I'm dating an old flame from 13 years ago. Her husband passed away last August, and we've just always been connected, just a time for nurturance and some fun. Isn't that beautiful, Ralph? Isn't that a great way to be? No pressure, no have to do anything, just being together because you're close to each other.
Yeah, good
That's
for you.
kind of what it is. I think modern relationships have so much pressure these days,
They
and
do, and we're programmed to think that, and believe that we, uh, we have to be with someone, first of all, in order to
yeah,
be happy, and it has to be this perfect relationship, and, um, that we have to stay with someone forever and ever and ever, right? So, I don't believe that. I mean, I believe that we have soulmates, definitely, but it doesn't mean that we have to be with them throughout our whole
right.
life. We come together to help each other. We made that commitment or that agreement when we were planning out our lives. We come together to help each other move through things and to heal things, just like with everyone else. And so
Yeah,
we're, and I'm the worst one that would have been that was not ready to let go of something, even though it was,
yeah,
we had a reason and a season. The season was over, right?
yeah,
So the reason was over. So it's important that we realize that we've been lied to for so long, and even about this
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's I find that it's rare but a huge blessing, and people had were probably doing a lot of work in their relationship for them to be really congruent with each other and vibing at a very similar frequency. And even though everyone has challenges, right? But working through that and being there for each other and sharing life that way, um, I always applaud people like that that are able to do that. And not everyone was meant to do that, to be like
Mhm.
that. Not everyone's meant to raise a family. Not everyone's meant to be with someone for a very long time and throughout their life. So.
Well, and that's kind of a more of a religious sort of a thing anyways. I know in many of the indigenous cultures, the children are born and the tribe raises them.
Hmm.
They're everybody's family, you know? And
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, and it's not you're not weird if you bring forth a child from a couple different, men because it's part of life, It's bringing and building the tribe and everybody's family, everybody's mother, everybody's sister, everybody's brother.
Hmm.
And it's got to be such a beautiful way. I mean, literally, when I think about that, I'm somehow so programmed that I get like almost like a little bit panicky inside, like, no, you can't do that.
That's the
It's kind of
religious
weird. I have,
programming.
yeah, I
I
have that
know.
response. And I
You
was
know,
raised Mormon. You would think I wouldn't have that programming. Bring
but
on the
you're
brothers and
but
sisters.
you're a woman. Isn't it the men that are allowed to have a bunch of wives, but the and the
Well, used to be, yeah, it was to
okay,
propagate and because
right.
women died in childbirth a lot. That was part of where that all came about too.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I know and it doesn't mean there's no right or wrong, right? It's just that we have
Mm-mm.
so much judgment, and that's where Christianity comes in, right? I know I was raised Catholic, so I can talk about it, but
Yeah.
that's
And
where
and
that
it
judgment
really
comes
goes
in.
back to love. If you love someone, then that's what it is, and I think we've lost touch with what love really is because of all these other expectations that you
Mhm.
have to love someone and be with them forever. That's pressure,
Mhm.
and God's going to smite you if you don't because you got married in a church with all these people witnessing it and in the name of God or what God hath put together, let no man put asunder. It's like,
Yes.
holy hell, that's scary.
I come across so many people in my clientele who have been in marriages in past lives, in other lives, that um, are fragmented because they stayed in a abusive or a loveless
Mhm.
relationship,
Yep.
and and were so depressed they were not able to move across into the
Yeah.
light. That part was fragmented because they just went through their day just kind of like a zombie. And that's what depression does, right? We
Yep.
move through our
Yep.
day like a zombie. There's no movement. That's why it's way down at the bottom of the list. Well, the emotional frequencies that causes depression, of course, are shame, guilt, all that. And that's what is caused.
Yeah.
That's what causes depression is the shame, the guilt, those types of emotions. And that's religious upbringing. I,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say it right now. Yeah. So, and and pressure from society, which is the
Right?
religious upbringing. Um, you know, it's interesting that when I first started working with Yeshua really closely, one of the first things he told me was that the Vatican, not Christianity, but the Vatican, and um, can I say that on here? Okay, I guess I can. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
What's a no-no word anymore on here?
I know, matter of fact,
Was
they have new words now too.
geez, was one of the biggest evil. on the planet. He showed me that. Yeah. And, there's just so much control with it. And so, you know, I'm not talking about Catholicism. I'm not talking about
Mm-mm.
people who are Catholic or anything like that. They're good, 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 good people for sure in the Catholic Church. I'm talking about the, yeah,
The foundation of it.
the,
Well, and look what's been
yes.
done over the last 2,000 years. They
Mhm.
hijacked teachings of love and turned it into murder and mayhem and control for 2,000 years.
Yeah, the Crusades, telling how
Yes,
many.
and
Um,
everything, everything.
I would imagine that probably pretty much everyone here in the chat, that is or is watching has a lifetime where they have been persecuted
Yeah,
by, some type of religious,
yeah,
uh, you know, doctrine or time, or who was a healer, who was a practitioner, maybe a druid, maybe any kind of a earth religion, practitioner
yeah.
perhaps, or
You
follower.
pagans.
I
You
know.
pagans.
Or I had a lifetime where I was actually killed by my own Christian brethren, and I was a nun.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I
Mm.
because I profess that I have a telepathic, and I talk to Jesus, and I hear him, and I walk with him in that manner. So, yeah, I didn't confess that it was Lucifer or Satan that I was actually talking to, because I
Oh,
was,
right, right, right.
mhm, that's what they
Well, and
wanted.
it's interesting because again, we're at this time of great change where we're to be healing all of that pain and all of that suffering with love, right? Again, transforming all of this with love as we get back into alignment with who we truly are. When those that lies and manipulations and all of that stuff that's been going on for thousands of years,
Yeah.
we begin to see it. We sitting here talking about it. I mean,
Mhm.
how crazy is that? Ah, no, we're good. Just want to make sure we weren't going to get smoted. No, I think okay, we're good. So, but I mean, seriously, that's how it
Yeah.
used to be.
Yeah.
And we can heal that now. We can start healing that deep, deep, deep pain. And, anybody who was a witch, a healer, there was
Mhm.
500 years of persecution
Yeah.
where people were sought Europe, all over, all over the continents, but especially Europe and here in America.
Yeah.
And we're allowed to let go of that now. We're allowed to allow the love that we are remembering that we truly are to transform that damage really to our psyche and to the group consciousness, to the psyche of all of life,
That's why we're
and
here.
to move beyond that. Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
we're all here, definitely. Mhm. To, complete this mission. This is our mission.
It's the mission of love. And and that's why my membership that I have through my website is a million I love yous.
Mhm.
And it was just, and the mission is to bring a million I love yous out into the world. And for every million we bring out, each of those million people are going to bring a million out. And
Ex
pretty soon we're all love, and all those baddies are like, we can't handle all this love. This sucks. And then they'll leave.
or be transformed. That's the
And
whole
their
idea. That's what
minions.
love does. It transforms. It transforms. Yeah.
All of a sudden, we'll have reptiles running around carrying flowers for their beloveds. It'll be awesome. Wearing t-shirts that say love heals. It's going to be amazing. I can see it now. All these crazy ETs with their horns and shit, with their like peace signs hanging around their neck, their tie-dye shirts saying love is all there is. It's going to be a bitchin'.
I can see it now.
I say yes to that scenario
I do too.
because it's just we gotta go there. We gotta go there.
Uh-huh.
We gotta take it all there with us. And that's the cool thing because we really can transform this
We
and
can.
give
We're
ourselves
transforming it
permission.
now as we
Yeah.
speak. Yeah, we're doing
As
it
we
now.
giggle,
As we as we giggle, as we laugh
even
and
as
raise
we
the
giggle.
frequency. Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
pa well, Holly goes, "Indeedy do." She's going, "I don't wanna get smoted smited."
Right?
I remember my granddaughter when she was, like, 3, somebody was doing something she didn't like, and I don't remember if she looked at me or her mom, and she was just like, "I will smite you." We're
Wow.
like, "Holy cow." Out of the mouth of babes, but yeah,
You know, speaking of love and how transforming it is, a lot of people, when we talk about love, a lot of people are like, I can't love someone that has treated me so badly or abused me or abused, has done horrendous
yeah,
things, right?
yeah,
Um, and I don't think it's what I understand, I believe, and how I handle it is that it doesn't mean you have to ignore what they've done,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But there's a soul there, hopefully. There's, everyone that is
Except
does
for
have some light.
clones.
Yeah, yeah. Well, clones have a consciousness. Their consciousness has been it's still put in the clone, the body. It's just an avatar, I understand, because I was told I had
Yeah, I don't know
clones.
how all that
Yeah.
works.
Um, it's just the extraterrestrials have the ability to take your and Tony Rodriguez talks about it in his book. And I had a um, consultation with him. Um, really cool guy, but takes your consciousness out of your tear duct, pulls it out, and then places it in another body.
Oh, no, 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 no.
That's what the secret space program's all about, because
Oh,
they use these soldiers, these bodies, and they're able to manipulate timelines and jump in and out of timelines. If you haven't read his book, I know we're getting off track here, but um, yeah. And I've always had problems with this part of my eye for as long as I can remember. And when he said that, when I read that in the book, I'm like, oh my God, because I've always had problems with that part of my eye. But anyway, and I do remember them telling me they had clones of me. But what I was going to say was that as far as loving people, right, or loving beings that do
mm,
awful things, we don't have to do the lovey-dovey thing. We can
yeah.
just send them love. Send them love, okay? Do a
Well, true love is
ho'oponopono.
unconditional.
It's unconditional,
It
or you can
sees the higher
yeah, and we can
reasoning.
ho'oponopono it too, ho'oponopono a situation, and that brings us back to neutral, like, Dr. Hulan, who brought it into the Western world, but, that what it does is it transforms us. It transmutes what we have going on. If we get triggered by something that is really horrendous that we see going on in the world, right?
Yeah,
And we talked about this earlier, like Jesus said, Yeshua said, "Be in the world, but not of it." You know,
yeah,
um, he loves everyone and everything. So, um, in order to be, in that Christ light, be Christed, we have to at least realize that, and it's hard. Uh, we're transforming our
yeah,
reaction,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Because and there's different kinds of love too. It's hard to love someone who's hurt you when you're coming from the egoic kind of love that is attachment, control, all that kind of stuff. When
Hmm.
when we're talking about love, the kind of love that can do that, that is that divine love, that Christ love that flows infinitely through you and it requires that you remember who you are truly and deeply as a creation of the God of love, if you will. That eternal loving presence. I love that. It does take that accepting the fact that you are love. It's not even be love. And when you begin to do that, it gets a lot easier to see some of this horrible stuff and to send it love. But like you're saying, Sharon, it's like you don't have to go play with them, you know.
No,
It's like
no.
you can see, like the Grammy thing, for instance. I did a little prayer where it's like I just pray that eternal loving presence, flows into their hearts and their minds and reveals to them, the distortions that drive them to harmful behavior, and that they be healed. But I'm not going to go play with them, you
Yeah,
know.
and I didn't watch it, but I knew that something was like that was gonna happen because they've been doing it. Super Bowl halftime probably is gonna be the
This
same
was
thing.
intense though.
Halftime is probably gonna be the same thing at Super Bowl because 'cause they've been
Yep.
doing it for years.
Yep.
Just a warning. But,
Yeah.
yeah, and, uh, sending prayers, and sending love helps tremendously for us in that because when we bring that into our awareness, and this is all Ho'oponopono teachings, is when we bring it into our awareness, we're responsible for it because we are co-creating
That's
this whole
another
world.
part of it. Yeah,
We've
it's a
co-created
projection of our own
every
darkness.
we've created everything around it is that when it's in our awareness,
Ooh.
we are responsible
Yeah.
for that creation. So hiding our heads in the sand for the last, 50, 100, 500 years, thousands of years, we can't do it anymore. So yeah. So sending love to that and knowing everything is in divine timing, everything is blessed. And that's when I remember Paul Selig and the guides, their teachings. Anything you damn damns you. Anything you bless blesses you. And we have a hard time blessing what we don't agree with.
Yeah, and what seems so horrible in understanding that often these things are to bring awareness
Hmm.
to who we truly are. But again, you don't have to play with it. It's like Jesus said too. He said, "Love one another." He didn't say except for them,
He said, "Love your
you know.
enemies."
Yeah, and he said, "Love your enemies too." And it was, and I said, "No, Jesus, thou shalt not ask that of me." And he said, "Oh, go forth and loveth
Go
those,
forth, you silliest one.
you
Oneth.
silliest one." But yeah, and it's hard. And I even when I was really getting into understanding the whole oneness thing, this has only been 3 or 4 years ago now. I was before that. I was at this thing. It's like, well, I'm of course I'm one with all, well, except them. I'm not one with
Yeah.
them. You and I really had to work through that. And it's hard. It's really a psychological thing, but you begin to grow and understand that you come from a higher point of love where
Hmm.
you realize that it is all God,
Yeah.
but you still don't have to go play with it. I am
No.
not going to watch the halftime.
No. Yeah. I, I don't even know who's supposed to be on there, but I don't watch football anymore. Um,
I know the Eagles are playing. Ooh, ooh.
oh, well, good. They won't do any of that.
No, it's the halftime show. It's whoever's in charge of that.
The Eagles? The Eagles? Oh,
The
the Eagles,
Philadelphia
the band.
Eagles.
Oh, the I don't even know. I don't even know what teams are playing in the Super Bowl. That's how bad I am anymore. I used to be a
Sharon,
football fan. Sorry.
it's the
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs?
Let's send them some love. Let's send them some love.
Oh, I thought you meant the band, the group the Eagles were playing at
No,
halftime. I'm like,
no, 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 no.
that would
That's
be a shocker.
that was yeah, no. They
Okay.
wouldn't even no.
Yeah.
And I don't know any of what's going on, but I'll tell you what. That Grammy thing was brought to you by Pfizer,
Go
which was
figure.
really bad.
Go figure. Mhm.
Love, 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 transform your wicked little butts.
You gotta laugh at it though. You gotta just laugh
Yeah.
at the irony, at the,
Yep.
it's so obvious. It's just so obvious. It's in our faces all the time.
I know that's
Yeah,
the thing that's
right.
kind of gets. Oh, you silly cows!
We just send our pink bubbles,
Send the
pink
pink
heart
bubbles, the pink
bubbles to it.
hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's good, and it's good. It's all good.
It's all good. I try to think if I come across something that's challenging, I always, not try to think, I don't, as Yoda says, "Don't no try, just do."
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I
Do or
ask
do not. There is no try.
I ask Yeshua, and there's a saying, "What would Jesus do?" And I do ask him. I ask him, "How would you handle this? How do you handle this?" And, with the, and it's got to where it's kind of a no-brainer anymore, but, with the Grammys, I'm getting, just let it flow through you. Don't let any of it stick. Let it
Yeah,
flow through you. Don't let it
and
stick.
you always have to be careful what you're feeding your
Yeah.
your precious mind and soul with too.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, and it depends on where you are, and some people can handle it. It doesn't bother them. I
Right.
just literally just saw a second flash, and I just went, "Oh, no, 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 no." I, like, turned it off, turned it off, turned it off, turned my phone off. It was like, "No, no, 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 no. I want nothing to do with that stuff." And
Yeah.
so it was, and then, went and did some prayer around it, but I don't mm-mm. No, la, 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 la. I don't even want my eyeballs to see it.
You know, I was gonna say something else. Oh shoot, it went right out of my head. It was probably really profound too.
It probably was. Let me see if I
Yeah.
can find it in
Okay,
the
you find it.
ether.
Yeah, I'll let you use it. I'll let you
Oh,
have it.
you know what it was? You were gonna
What?
say, "I love you" to everybody who's here.
I was. I love you to everybody who's here,
It's
including you,
so
Michelle.
good.
Yes,
So
definitely.
good, and I love you, Sharona. Never heard that before, did you?
Never, never. Uh, anyway,
Very good.
it should come back around. So I have some cards,
You wanna do little cards?
and since we're
Aw,
talking about love, I brought
love
out
is
my
all there is.
right. I brought
Love
out
is
my
all there
Rumi
is.
cards. Rumi.
Love. Oh, how funny. I was looking for my roomie cards earlier and I couldn't find them.
Well, I found them for you.
That
Okay,
is so funny.
I'm gonna have to
Okay.
turn my
If you're gonna do
cards
roomie,
off.
I'm gonna pull out the Mary Magdalene cards.
Oh, nice, nice.
We'll get some MM going here. We'll just do a little group ready for all you gorgeous
The
folks.
Rumi appeared. I was working in pretty close with him a while back, 2 or 3 years ago, and he appeared in one of my photos in a
Oh,
plasma.
cool. In your
Hmm.
orbs.
In my plasma, a plasma cloud. Yeah, I recognized him with with the big, whatever that's called, turban or something.
I almost called it a caftan.
Okay.
Yeah, turban.
Turban. Yeah.
Big caftan on his head.
Yeah.
Sorry, roomie, don't smite me. God. I am just putting myself out there for smitage.
Smitage. Smitage. I love that word. Spirit songs love you both. Aw, we love you too. Adele doesn't watch football either. Yeah, I mean it's gone such downhill. Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just like the boys. They're just so delicious to watch. I had my friend in Texas. She started talking about football, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's coming up." So we started talking football, and I miss it. I miss having that boy in my life that
All right. This one is called The Cloak of Christ. Ha!
ooh.
Isn't that interesting?
Hello there, Miss Jules.
Hi, Miss Jules. Can you see the card okay?
Sorta. If you put it in front of your face, so we don't have to see your face, no. But if you do that, it doesn't
How's that?
the thingy doesn't go wonky. Yeah,
Okay.
kind of. Can you put it closer to the camera? But still in front of your face. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. A little bit better. There you go. And then just stay there like that.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
The Cloak of Christ. This deck is by Elena Fairchild. If anyone's interested, they're really, really, really pretty. Um, number four. Number four. Here we're talking about Christ energy. All right, so what the book said. This is the Rumi quote. In the school of humanity, when you become intimate with God, you reside on the king's throne and teach the angels the nature of the divine.
Mm, I love Rumi.
Yeah, so let me just read a little bit here. Um, you are tired, beloved. Your soul has been ravaged inside and out, and you are succumbing to struggle that is not karmic or necessary, but a symptom of fatigue and weariness of heart, mind, body, and soul. That which plagues you, whether something specific or a general nagging, malaise, or anxiety you cannot quite pin down, is not as powerful as you fear. You are being given a grace here and now that it may be overcome. Remember, your reactions are a symptom of your exhaustion and a sign that you need respite, sanctuary, restoration. They are not a sign that something must be done so much as a sign that something must be received, allowed. We forgot to talk about receiving and allowing. There we
Yeah.
go. That something is healing made possible through divine protection. In this instance, protection is bestowed through the cloak of the Christ. This cloak is a sacred container that places your body and soul within the loving energy of the Christ consciousness. This unconditionally loving energy is not limited to the being bearing its name, but is shared by Rumi and many other holy ones. Ooh, I feel that. I feel Rumi. Ooh,
Mm,
I can barely speak. It is typified by wholeness. There is nothing within you that would cause the Christ to turn away from you, not even those parts of you that may fill you with fear, shame, guilt, or regret. He and Rumi are sacred brothers, loving and supportive of each other, and they see your soul as one of their family, one of their own. You are so loved by them both, equally and without measure.
nice. So funny. I just totally messed up my cards. It's like, start over. Okay.
Mm.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can feel Rumi too.
Yeah, I haven't
It's like
played
he
with
just
Rumi in a
moved in
while.
close.
Wow, yeah, that. Whew.
There we go. Ooh, nice. All right. So what we have here is a card of clear communication, and it's a two, so it speaks to relationship, right? Clear
There
communication.
you go.
And the message is always speak from the heart. Communicate clearly and in a loving way. Do not silence your voice for fear of persecution or misunderstanding. Allow yourself to speak up and be heard. How can you be true to yourself if you don't communicate clearly and thus don't show who you are? Speak your truth, but be mindful of what you say and use discernment to sort through any information coming your way. Remember, silence is golden, but communicating your truth when the situation calls for it is very important. Remember, your voice has power, and sometimes you may be the one to speak for many. Very cool. And it's true.
Yes.
That's one of the things that happens in relationships is
Hmm.
people don't speak their truth, right? And that's where you get people who do kind of get passive aggressive. I see, oh my gosh, one thing that I see, it makes me crazy. People are like, well, if you don't know what's wrong with me, then I don't know what to tell you. They won't communicate their emotions. They won't communicate. And to
Mhm.
have healthy relationship, to find healthy relationship with yourself and others, you have to communicate. You have to acknowledge how you're feeling and learn to communicate in a non-confrontational way. Because that's another thing is we've kind of forgotten how to communicate. A lot of times it starts with "you make me feel." It's like nobody makes you feel anything. You have to take responsibility for your own feelings, right?
Yeah.
You feel the way you do because of your belief systems, because of your past, because of your triggers, because of your wounds. Because somebody else in a different situation may not feel that same way, having that same person say the same exact thing. And so we have to take responsibility for ourselves, but we have to communicate.
Sure.
Passive
Yeah.
aggressive is huge. So many people are passive aggressive.
Well,
And
unfortunately, we get hurt in relationships, and on both sides, all sides, and we get hurt, and then when that's not addressed, then it does come out. Our
yeah,
anytime we're being, in get triggered or anything like that, is from pain.
yeah,
It's because of pain
absolutely.
that we haven't dealt with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
unhealed.
yeah, unhealed
And
pain.
that's why to be in relationship, you need to truly love yourself first. And that's loving the pain. One thing I work with my clients with so much is having the pain come up, acknowledge the pain, feel the pain. People like, oh, and then wrap your love around it and just treat it like a wounded child. This is a part of you that's deeply, deeply hurt, and you got to listen to it. You got to acknowledge it. Treat it like it's a child that just fell off their bike and skinned their knees and, conked their head. What would you do? Sit there and push it away? Or would you let it come up and embrace it and just love, love, love? You're okay. It's all okay. We're going to be okay. I've done so much transformation work with people, just feeling the feelings and just loving them. And it's really powerful. And it's something you guys can do when you feel something, when someone does something and makes you feel something, you make me so mad. We'll address that anger, you know?
Well, yeah, and saying someone makes you some ways because you're getting triggered. Yeah, that
Yeah.
we're getting triggered, so something's not healed. Uh, and yeah, and it's you know, and we know these things because we deal with them, and neither one of us are
All the
perfect. We're not
time.
perfect, but um, definitely not perfect. There's another thing I was
Well,
going to say.
I am.
Oh, I forgot. So Miss Jules was asking me the name of the deck I used,
Yes.
the Rumi Oracle by Elena Fairchild.
Yeah. They're so beautiful.
Mhm. Is that the deck you have, Michelle?
Yep. That's the same
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I don't know where I put it though.
Yeah, and the artwork is really beautiful too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I love all these cards.
I know, but yeah, what you were saying makes I wanted to add a little something to it about getting triggered and uh, again, it went right out my head. I need to write. If I don't write these things down, they're gone.
You know what? I literally, when we're talking, I have pad and paper right here.
Yeah,
I'm not ignoring you. I'm like writing down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I know. I do the same thing. All right, I got my Jesus cards here. How about a little
I got
message
my Jesus cards. I
from
got my
Jesus,
Jesus
Yeshua,
cards.
to take us out? And if you have something, you got your Jesus cards too.
I don't want Jesus to take me out.
He can take me out anytime to
Yeah,
you know, to the
you can
movies for
take
dinner.
me out anytime, baby doll. Wow. I'm sitting. I opened up Pandora's box over here. I pulled up the pad of paper to show you, and all these notes that I've been taking was underneath.
Oh,
And I'm like
just for
going, oh my
today's
God.
show? Or
No,
oh,
from
okay.
past shows though.
Okay, what I pulled is
All right.
seek
Let's
and
go
you shall
deep.
find.
How many people here with us is looking for love? All the wrong places. Looking for love in too many spaces. I don't know the words right there.
That's a country song, right?
It is, oh my gosh. I used to be a country. I used to do the line dancing.
Oh, me
I
too. When I lived in Texas.
loved it.
Yeah.
Achy breaky
It was
heart all
fun.
the way, girls.
Yeah, that was my era too. Two-step, all that. So, not actively, but biding time. Yeah, not immediately, but definitely would like a life partner at some point. I found
Yeah,
that it comes when we least expect it,
yeah,
as long as we're working on ourselves, as
yeah.
long as we're
And when we're
healing.
doing what we truly love, that's one of the things I do some coaching around that. And one of the things that I'm really adamant about is you have to do things that you love to do. Because when you're doing what you love to do, you radiate that most beautiful part of yourself. And it's so much easier, you know, so much easier to find someone that matches you when you're happy and joyous.
I remembered what I forgot.
Uh,
When you were talking about, taking that pain as a child, one thing that we
mm,
forget, I find myself anyway, is that we forget to tell that part of us that hurts. And we can, envision as a child, a lot of times it is the child part of us, that they are safe.
yeah,
That's why we put up walls, is
yeah,
because we want to be safe again. We want to feel safe. We don't want to open up. And Rumi has a quote. I'm sure everyone here has heard it if you're a Rumi fan. And I'm paraphrasing here, but you have to break your heart open in order
yeah,
for it to heal, in order for you to love, in order for you to open your heart.
yeah.
It has to break in order for you to open it, kind of thing.
That's why I
Um,
call it a breakthrough.
yeah, there you go. So feeling safe is huge, definitely. If we have, and we all have hurts and pains. That's why we're still here.
Mm,
That's why we come
yeah,
back to heal and to help the world heal.
yeah. We heal ourselves, we heal the world. That should be Rumi. Rumi, did you say that?
I know, right? I think
It's
so.
so Rumi-esque. Well, I'll make a card to add to your deck. We'll attribute it to him.
I see him doing that.
Oh, it's so good.
Rumi-ish.
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 Yes.
So, you guys, I want to let you guys know next Tuesday is Valentine's Day, and on my spiritual chit chat show, I'm going to be doing Valentine's and love reading for the whole show. So, you guys come on down now. You hear? And it's
Nice.
going to be on my YouTube channel. So we're going to be doing that um, for the whole time for however long we need to do it and kind of hang out for Valentine's Day. And Sharon, you of course are welcome to come
I
play
will
too.
be on my way to the coast. I'm spending 5
What?
days at the coast for Valentine's,
What?
leaving on Tuesday. Mhm. I'm going to hopefully finish my book. Me and my little dog are going to the coast,
Ah,
and I hope to finish my book. I've been working really hard at it, so
oh, good. Oh my gosh. I've
yeah,
got
my near-death
5 books
experience and
started.
all around there. I know, me too. Me too.
It's like, will I ever get them done?
Yeah. Well, I
You
gotta tell
inspire
you.
me, sister girl.
Oh, thanks, Spirit Song. What's that? What? Yeah, I inspire you? You know who inspired me? My consultation with Tony Rodriguez.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. because he just finished writing his second book, and that consultation I had with him was really good for me because I don't talk to other practitioners about that
Yeah.
kind of I don't
Yeah.
normally do that. So
Very
I,
cool.
I use this, right? Use this.
Mhm.
But sometimes we
So
need a nudge.
we do. We do. Very
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Ah. All right, folks.
Mm-hmm.
All y'all, as they say over there in Texas, where the cowboys are. That's what I want to get me one of them cowboys. And I tell you what, we love you guys. Sharon, do you have
Yes.
any class or anything coming up that you want to share?
Not this month. I just finished Connecting to Your Star Family class on Sunday, which was amazing. But I do have, if you're local, I'm hosting Seth Dietland's angelic class, communicating the activation, angel activation class. But I'm going to talk to him about streaming it too
Where are you hosting it at?
in Beaverton, Oregon.
In a place in your home in
No, in a space
the
that I
heavens?
rent. Yeah, yeah, in
In a what?
a venue, a space that I rent in Beaverton
Will
that I
you
use.
get that information out to
I
people?
will.
Where can people find that information?
Oh yeah. Well, on my website and my
Okay.
meetup pages, I'll have it out within the week.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I
How
just want to
about you?
share next week Valentine readings on Tuesday.
Nice.
I'm doing a spirit circle, meet guides, angels, and loved ones on the other side on Thursday. And on Saturday, I'm going to be busy next week while Sharon's gone. On Saturday, I have my divination for self awareness class where you
Ooh,
guys are going to learn about using, you're going to learn about focus, altars, candles, numerology, and then how to use oracle cards, pendulums, and the angel board to get information for your own self awareness and to use it to help others, but mainly for you. And so that's going to be on Saturday. So I got a lot going on next week. So
nice.
I'm holding up the fort while you're gone writing your book, Sharon.
And, running down the beach with my hair flowing behind me.
Flowing in the wind with your doggy by your side.
Of course,
I'll
it
be
is the
working.
Oregon coast,
I
so
love it.
down in there.
Yeah. And
I
so
have to say
everything,
one thing about, that you said about tools. I first started communicating with my mother on a spirit board after she passed.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was an angel board, and she's the one who she brought in Jesus. I was
Oh, very
communicating with
cool.
Jesus, with Yeshua on a spirit board, and when I first started doing readings, I was using a spirit board to do readings.
Wow. Yeah. Because you can use them so many different ways. And it's really cool because all those different tools can be used in different ways
Just a
and
tool, right?
and yeah, and it's a tool. But
Mhm.
I also teach how to really get in and understand that it's all coming from you. But those tools, the outer tools are really fun to work with and make it a little bit exciting. That way you can go out and buy 72 decks of cards like I did.
You got me beat. I think I might have about half that.
I'm
Alright,
just a
darling.
little obsessed.
Yeah, a little bit.
So
I get you.
thank you everybody for being here. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
part of our New Earth Rising family and we really do love you guys so much. This is a happy place for us all to gather together. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Luana. She says when she had her first wake up call about the need for love from someone else, it took a minute to realize that it comes from self. Yeah, first. Yes.
Yeah.
Good, 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 good. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. Love you guys. Love you. Everyone that's here, thank you. And everyone watching after we are live.
We just love everybody. All
We
y'all,
do.
we love y'all.
We're we're love bombs.
We are love bombs. Love puppies. All right, guys. Mwah.
Yes, yes. Mwah.
Love is all there is.
Mhm.